That his music had an extra layer of inexplicable magic that didn't just make you want to dance, but actually made you believe that you could fly, dare to dream, be anything that you wanted to be. Because that is what heroes do, and Michael Jackson was a hero.
Hi friends, your buddy Gilbert here. Today is a hard day for a lot of us that are diehard Michael Jackson fans. Today is the 13th anniversary of his death. I remember when he died, I had just come out of the shower and I looked at my phone and there was something like 30 or 40 combination of missed calls, text messages, and I was dripping wet in my little towel. And I just remember reading, Gilbert, are you okay? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear about Michael. I can't believe it. I'm gutted. Gilbert, are you okay? I'm like, what? What's going on with Michael Jackson? What's going on? So of course I turn on the news and I see that he had died. And I just went into absolute shock. I started to shut down. I got very depressed. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Some people are like, he was a celebrity. You didn't even know him. But those kind of people, I respectfully cannot be in close, intimate relationship with people that think about things like that, because when you are a big fan of anyone and their art has touched your life, whether their movies or their music, I would say with music that their music becomes like the soundtrack to your life, especially if you're a longtime fan. And I grew up on Michael Jackson, so it was like a family member dying. He was one of my heroes. So, and he still is. So we're going to watch, this was the Video Music Awards, this was the VMAs, not too long after he had passed. They did a little special tribute to him, and I guess it was more like a eulogy or like a speech. It was given by, Michael Jackson was the king of MTV, he still is. And of course the first lady of MTV is Madonna. So she was the perfect person to give this address of him following his death. So we're gonna get right into it.
Thank you. Thank you. Michael Jackson. I have a little bit more to say than that. Okay, here we go again. Michael Jackson was born in August 1958. So was I. Michael Jackson grew up in the suburbs of the Midwest. So did I. Michael Jackson had 8 brothers and sisters. So do I. When Michael Jackson was 6, he became a superstar and was perhaps the world's most beloved child. When I was 6, my mother died. I think he got the shorter end of the stick. I never had a mother, but he never had a childhood. And when you never get to have something, you become obsessed by it. I spent my childhood searching for my mother figures. Sometimes I was successful. But how do you recreate your childhood when you are under the magnifying glass of the world for your entire life? There is no question that Michael Jackson was one of the greatest talents the world has ever known.
Absolutely. I would say the greatest. I would say the greatest.
That when he sang a song at the ripe old age of 8, he could make you feel like an experienced adult was squeezing your heart with his words. That the way he moved had the elegance of Fred Astaire and packed the punch of Muhammad Ali. That his music had an extra layer of inexplicable magic that didn't just make you want to dance, but actually made you believe that you could fly, dare to dream, be anything that you wanted to be, because that is what heroes do, and Michael Jackson was a hero. He performed in soccer stadiums around the world. He sold hundreds of millions of records. He dined with prime ministers and presidents. Girls fell in love with him. Boys fell in love with him. Everyone wanted to dance like him. He seemed otherworldly, but he was also a human being. Like most performers, he was shy and plagued with insecurities. I can't say we were great friends, but in 1991 I decided I wanted to try and get to know him better. I asked him out to dinner. I said, "My treat, I'll drive, just you and me." He agreed and showed up to my house without any bodyguards. We drove to the restaurant in my car. It was dark out, but he was still wearing sunglasses. I said, "Michael, I feel like I'm talking to a limousine. Do you think you could take off those glasses so I can see your eyes?" He paused for a moment. Then he tossed the glasses out the window, looked at me with a wink and a smile and said, "Can you see me now? Is that better?" In that moment, I could see both his vulnerability and his charm. The rest of the dinner, I was hell-bent on getting him to eat French fries, drink wine, have dessert, and say bad words. Things he never seemed to allow himself to do. Later, we went back to my house to watch a movie, and we sat on the couch like two kids. And somewhere in the middle of the film, his hand snuck over and held mine. It felt like he was looking for a friend more than a romance. And I was happy to oblige him. And in that moment, he didn't feel like a superstar. He felt like a human being. We went out a few more times together, and then for one reason or another, we fell out of touch. Then, the witch hunt began. And it seemed like one negative story after the other was coming out about Michael.
All lies.
I felt his pain. I know what it's like to walk down the street and feel like the whole world is turned against you. I know what it's like to feel helpless and unable to defend yourself because the roar of the lynch mob is so loud that you are convinced your voice can never be heard. But I had a childhood, and I was allowed to make mistakes and find my own way in the world without the glare of the spotlight. When I first heard that Michael had died, I was in London, days away from the opening of my tour. Michael was going to perform in the same venue as me a week later. All I could think about in that moment was I had abandoned him, that we had abandoned him, that we had allowed this magnificent creature that once set the world on fire to somehow slip through the cracks. While he was trying to build a family and rebuild his career, we were all busy passing judgment. Most of us had turned our backs on him. In a desperate attempt to hold on to his memory, I went on the internet to watch old clips of him dancing and singing on TV and on stage. And I thought, my God, he was so unique, so original, so rare. And there will never be anyone like him again.
Never.
He was a king. But he was also a human being. And alas, we are all human beings. And sometimes we have to lose things before we can truly appreciate them. I want to end this on a positive note and say that my sons, age 9 and 4, are obsessed with Michael Jackson. There's a whole lot of crotch grabbing and moonwalking going on in my house. And it seems like a whole new generation of kids has discovered his genius and are bringing him to life again. I hope that wherever Michael is right now, he is smiling about this. Yes. Yes, Michael Jackson was a human being, but damn it, he was a king. Long live the king.
Beautiful, Madonna. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I'm just I'm a total mess. Anyone who knows me knows what a huge fan I am of Michael, and I always have been. I was dancing like him since I was like 5 years old. Fell in love with him when I was like 8 or 9, like hardcore. And just would always perform him in music videos. My dad would film me dancing and singing like him. I would perform at talent shows and at my school during lunch. I would do choreography from all of his music videos and lip sync all of his great ballads and slow songs. Michael Jackson has just always been a hero to me. And although I'm not here to slander anybody, what I will say is that it really just takes about a 5-minute Google search, really. You can follow the trial. You can see that for 10 years, the FBI investigated him under a magnifying glass. They destroyed his Neverland Valley Ranch. They ripped it. He couldn't even live there anymore. They found all of his laptops and combed through them with FBI technology, because we think that when we delete our history, it's gone. It's not gone. They never found anything of him. The first boy that made an accusation divorced his parents and was like, his father had drugged him. They have the dad on the video recording saying, we're gonna make this up. We're gonna get Michael for all that he's worth. His father was a Jordan Chandler. His father had drugged him, and the guilt basically had the father kill himself. The father committed suicide because of what he did to his son to make his son lie. The second kid, Gavin Arvizu, you can find him on Twitter. He always, the same thing. My dad made me do this. If you watched that disgrace of a documentary, a mockumentary, called Leaving Neverland, please at least listen to the documentary that gives all of the receipts and shows those two to be I'll just say the kind of person that they really are. It unveils their motives for lying and making all of these things up. You can check that out. Michael Jackson Square One. Check that out. If you've seen Neverland, Leaving Neverland, I don't understand why so many people believe that. Like, it really is a 5-minute Google search to see that the timelines don't line up with what they said. Oh, that Michael had hurt him in the train station. The Michael Jackson fans came and found the deed to when the train station was built. They're like, how did that happen? That wasn't even created yet. So then they took that part out of the documentary. The mom says that she was jumping up and down after Michael Jackson had died because now he can't hurt any more kids. Well, that's funny. He died in 2009. Your son didn't come out to you that he was hurt by Michael Jackson until 2013. So how'd you get in a time machine 4 years earlier and jump up and down before you even knew that? So they cut that part out of the documentary. It's so messy. The more that people come out calling it out for being all like lies, they had to keep adjusting it. So it's a big circus show. It's really just because Wade Robson was not asked to do the Las Vegas One show, the Michael Jackson One show in Las Vegas, because he had burned all of his bridges in the industry. And so they were like, okay, well, you burned all your bridges in the industry. You're not going to be part. They didn't want to like tell him that, but he was asking about it. Janet didn't want to work with him anymore. He had his history with NSYNC or with Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Y'all know that situation. He had just burned all of his bridges. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go. If you're going to say no to me, because I'm the Michael Jackson guy, then I will get my revenge. And I'll sue the estate, and I'll bring up I'll make it up and make it seem like Michael Jackson touched me, and that was his ticket to it. It's really evil. It's disgusting. So any of you that are like, I really want to still celebrate my Michael Jackson fandom, but I just can't, be behind a monster. I'm with you. I wouldn't be celebrating a monster either if he was. But the evidence is out there, just how innocent he is. The receipts are all there. You just have to look for them instead of believing the hype. This ridiculous, believe the victims, and yeah, whatever. Yeah, Jussie Smollett is really proving that too, right? Sorry, I don't get me on a rant. Maybe I should cut this video short because I'm going to anger a lot of people, but it's my view. I think it's just so terrible what happened to Michael. I love that Madonna said, the witch hunt began and everybody was passing judgment. It is true. Although I do think that these allegations should be held seriously. Give someone their day in court, right? And if he's found guilty, the truth will come out. You don't have to wait. The truth does come out. We just learned from the Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard thing, right? And with Jussie Smollett, the truth will come out. Give people their day in court, and until then, reserve judgment. But then, if they come out to be a monster, then yeah, you give them heck in 2 barrels. But Michael was innocent. So on this day, I celebrate him. God, Michael's with you. Tell him I love him. I can't wait to meet him and group you out in heaven. Thank you, everybody, for staying with me for this long. And if you got to this long on the video, because I'm a very passionate person. But yeah, let's continue to celebrate Michael Jackson's legacy. I love you. God bless you. And I will see you in the next video. Apparently, I'm getting more honest in these things. So I love you. Bye. So comment, like, subscribe. Okay, bye.